Hey guys, this is Derrix.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
Welcome to our video blog to love Puerto Rico. Thank you guys for joining as usual. We just thank everyone that continues to watch our videos, all of our subscribers, everyone that is takes the time to go on this journey and walk with us. We're so thankful, so grateful. But this week, I just feel like we just really need to just go ahead and dive into it. Last week, our video was pretty short, as we stated, because we were processing a lot of things that are happening in our nation. So we just needed to take a step back, to pull back and give ourselves time to try to figure out what we were feeling, what we are sensing the Lord is saying in it all. And it just, it just became overwhelming. So we had to...
I'm still overwhelmed. I'm still feeling a lot of different things, and I'm still trying to process. Me and Derrix, just like he said, it's been a lot this week, and I'm thankful for the week, but I'm still processing. I'm still trying to figure out where I belong in it all, and knowing now that, my voice is needed, right in the area where I am. So, and then trying to just keep the perspective that, there is hope, that there will be change, not an instant change, but there will be change. And I guess really what we're talking about, me and Derrix have lived here, for 10 years now, and
lived in Frisco,
Texas. And it's been hard. It's been a great place. God showed us who we were here. We became son and daughter in this place for sure. And, many people think, oh, you went to a place where it's beautiful, the streets are clean, and the houses and the land and all these different things. But when we came, we did not see that we were going to be in the minority.
Yeah, definitely.
We didn't that's one thing we didn't discuss about.
Didn't really look at it, didn't even consider that. And I guess not saying that we didn't consider it, but the ramifications, short term and long term, to what that would, what that would look like and what that would entail. We did go from, our environment or our everyday world being around all African Americans all day, every day, from our church setting to, kids going to school to the friends that we had. Everything was basically the same. And when we came to Frisco, it totally changed. And, when we got here, there was an adjustment that we had to make, physically, emotionally, but God also was, provoking some things in our heart that needed to be addressed as well, in terms of race, and they're in our heart because of some negative experiences, growing up, some things, some stories that I heard my dad talk about, my family talk about, just some of those stories that you don't really realize that those things have affected you. So God had to do, some things in our heart to allow us to forgive and also to receive from people who didn't look like us, because we were suspicious as people came to help us that didn't look like us.
And then I guess during this time, God really, taught us about forgiveness and seeing people for who they are,
right.
Seeing people that are not of color, that they're people. And I need to learn from them, that I was here for them to learn something from me, that the stereotypes of being from Mississippi are not right. It's time for us to change what people feel and what people see about, Mississippi.
Yeah, just where we're from.
And where we're from. Are you a black person from Mississippi? You don't know nothing. All these different things came with the package when we moved here. It's like, oh, okay, we had to feel like we had to change that image, but I never stopped saying that I was a black woman, a black girl raised in Mississippi. I have a family, I have friends, I have people there that are full of everything that God has for them, and they are no less than any other person that live any else in the world. So yes, that needs to change, because I'm here. And I guess I realized on, we're going to get to what happened to us, on Pentecost Sunday with our church family that we've been walking with for 3 years. And it, like me and Derrix, like it just came to a boiling point. We were sitting in a room, and with people that we walked with, we talked with, we loved, we prayed with, we've, you know, it's just, it came to a boiling point.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where, again, we talk about, relationships and things like that. But honestly, we never really talked about race and the impact that it has, on our own lives. So within our own community, where, like she said, we worship, we pray, we eat dinner together, we've had all these things, but that topic or never came up. So if the topic never came up, there was never an opportunity to see the world through our lens. And I think that all culminated, that Sunday, and we began to share what it's like to be an African American in a church that's predominantly white. And, it came off as, of course there was some frustration and things like that, but we began to share, and after we began to share, we began to realize that people never thought about looking through life through the lens of a person that's a minority, especially African American, even in the context of what has happened over the last few months with the deaths of with the murders of the African American men. So yeah, that all culminated at that point, and we began to share our hearts, and it began to just open a dialogue and a discussion that we had never had before. And we realized that we had been silent too long because we didn't even, if we're silent, we don't give another person an opportunity to respond. Yeah. So it's two-sided. There's a responsibility on the side as African Americans, and there's a part to play, yeah, even as white people as well. So it's a twofold thing.
I guess we realize too, our voice is needed in this community. It's not that we have to be in all these different places or have to just be with other African Americans, but God placed us here because that night I was feeling anger, I was feeling frustration, and I was like, okay, I could be with my family, I could be with people that look like me, that's feeling like me, but I choose to say, I come here and I love you regardless of what I see on the outside as a white person. I'm not saying that I see you as the person that killed
right.
George Floyd, but I see you as my white friend, my white family, and I'm not accusing you of anything, but I want you to see through my eyes. And I think that frustration built up because of their silence, because of their lack of not seeing that I have been there. And it's not all of them. I chose to let go of some of the things that who I was, and not knowing that each time you do that, when you go into an environment, you feel like you need to stop being who you are, stop speaking or dressing or, whatever it might be, that strips off layers of who you are as a person, of your identity. And that's what, I did, and I feel like now I'm just all over the place, really, because I don't know what to feel. I don't know how to feel. And I don't know what to say. And I'm questioning and I'm asking God, okay, what is the point where enough is enough? And then I'm asking God, well, why now, after all these years of our history and our land and the nation have seen this time and time again, so why now do we need to make this such a big deal, you know, but it should have been a big deal when all the other men have died and women as well.
Yeah, and I think it's just, where we are in history now, even with the deaths, but, those are horrific incidents as well. But it's also just the ordinary, day-to-day things that are looked over that, when you see someone and you assume certain things, you see an African American, so you automatically do these different stereotypes and those types of things, and those types of things hurt just as much as well. And I think through it all, we're learning that there's silence on others where they've seen these types of things happen and didn't say anything. But we realize too that we have a responsibility as well to say something, knowing that everyone doesn't think the same way, that all African Americans don't think the same way, but all people who are non-people of color, they don't think the same way. So we can't group everybody in the same category, but we just know that this is an hour. It seems honestly like it's late. It seems like, as Tiff said, why now? It really feels like why now? And we even have feelings of frustration of like, since it's so late, do we even want to continue on with having these discussions? But at the end, we know that at the moments in history, even as a Christian and knowing God, when the people cry out long enough, it gets to a point where the sovereign Lord that we serve, he hears and he says, now is the time. And I believe we're in that moment. So that gives me hope. It helps with the frustration. It helps with the anger and all those things, because I know that he loves justice way more than we do. Way more than my heart could ever comprehend or conceive. He wants justice way more than we do. So with knowing that, it gives us hope. It gives us comfort to know that, it's not a quick fix. It's not going to be a short time deal. This is a long-term thing. It's generations ahead and what has to be impacted.
But thank you guys. But that night ended with this. That night on Pentecost Sunday, it ended with full of hope. It ended with unity. I mean, my heart was touched by my family, my church family, Upper Room, Frisco, that they saw something that night that has changed their life. And I can't put it into words.
In ours too.
And in ours. I can't put it into words now. We don't have videotape, we don't have pictures, we don't have anything, but you have our word that there is hope. Yeah. And there are people's heart that are open and ready to receive. So we all have a responsibility, black and white, to make it come together, because we need each other. We don't have all the pieces unless we have each other. Right. And we got to see through each other's eyes, and that's black, white,
brown, yellow, Hispanic, whatever, Hispanic, all the different,
Indian,
all the different ethnicities.
That make this beautiful world what it is. And it's us being together, loving the differences. So we love you guys. And we're still going to Puerto Rico. It might be delayed, but we going. And we are not, like I always say, we are not in a hurry. But we will be on the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. So to love you guys and to love Puerto Rico.
And to love Tiffany. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.